All right, folks, cryptocurrency at the center of a financial revolution. So it's natural that it's drawing an assortment of criticism, and let's just face it, plain old player hating. But scientists at Queensland University of Technology have taken this thing to a whole new level. They're saying that Bitcoin investors exhibit four unsavory traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, they're psychopaths, and they believe in sadism. Well, joining me now, crypto co-founder Cody Willard. So, Cody,
and with that intro, Cody,
how crazy are you? I mean, should I be doing this behind a bulletproof shield?
No, I mean, I think that would be a more accurate description of most of the guys I know on Wall Street, frankly. So, I mean, the average Bitcoin investor, certainly on the retail side, there's an element of greed. They want to make money. But I think there's also a belief from a lot of people, including me, that we need competing currencies to fiat currencies. We don't need complete control.
No, I'm with you on that. But I mean, just sort of like all of these different things, every time Janet Yellen speaks, she talks about crime, right? As if crime was invented when they, with Bitcoin, right? It's like no one ever committed a crime until then. Like there's all these different angles, but I've never heard this particular angle because apparently they were researching something different when they discovered, okay, out of every 4 patients in this study, 1 owns crypto and 2 want to own crypto. Something is wrong with crypto. They made this big leap.
Exactly. I mean, I think you could probably do the average person in the population, and that same percentage either owns crypto or wants to own crypto.
Right.
So, there were people in the study who were narcissistic, sadists, and whatnot, and yes, they want to own crypto, but so does a lot of normal people.
All right, so you're in town because yesterday you were master of ceremonies at the 2022 Spring Blockchain event. And what caught my eyes, I saw on social media where you said it should have been called "This will get worse before it gets better." That sounds very ominous. What do you mean?
Well, that actually was the name of it, and I think their angle was that the regulations and trying to figure out how to navigate regulations around crypto are going to get worse before it gets better. But I think actually crypto itself, I've been a Bitcoin owner for 9-10 years, since 2013. I've been a longtime believer in crypto. And I think, though, out of 18,000 cryptos out there, 17,000 plus are fraudulent, silly, or stupid, and they're going to zero. And so, yes, the crypto market is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. But once those start going to zero...
Do you need regulators to hash that out, or shouldn't the market hash that out?
A little bit of both. I do think there's some obvious fraud out there that the regulators could use existing laws and go after some of the really bigger fraudulent cryptos out there. And I'm not talking about like the top 50.
Sure.
I'm talking about, but there are several that are worth billions of dollars that are, I think, pretty clearly fraudulent. The regulators and government, police, whatever, SEC, CFTC, nobody's doing anything about it. And I do think they should crack down on that. And then, yeah, as long as it's not fraudulent, if it's silly or stupid, let the free market take care of it.
What about, though, the notion, and some are anxious, that maybe, just maybe, now I joined you in the Bitcoin world. I bought some this year, so I'm in there with you, about 8 years late, but I'm there, 8 or 9 years late. That maybe, though, this is such a threat to fiat currency, though, that ultimately regulators around the world will be used to derail the movement. First, they'll try to put up a different competing coin, like central bank-backed currency, but when that fails, they'll start to find ways to derail the whole thing.
One of the ironic things about Bitcoin at this stage is that, the government's been able to actually find stolen Bitcoins, and I think Bitcoin, it used to be the...
But our government's okay now. I mean, this is a threat to fiat currency. At least that's the way it's sold.
Look, and yeah, I do think that fiat currency over time loses more and more importance and dwindles into some sort of de minimis meaning to our economy. But that's a decades-long road, and the free markets, again, of competing currencies probably work out.
So before I let you go, what's the most important thing we should know right now?
I would actually just mention, I'd go to Sktls.com. I have a space debris cleaning cryptocurrency. There are no founders tokens. I'm not going to get rich by building this thing, but trying to do a social good and make the space revolution happen. It's free to register. We don't even collect your information. How about that? How about that for someone?
And you brought some coins with you.
Hey, yeah, real Bitcoin. I was going to throw you one. It's heavy as gold. I got my Bitcoins.
All right. Hey, Cody, you're all right, my man.
It's great to
talk to you again soon. All right, so rideshare companies Uber and Lyft under whole